the secular bull markets do not end in a 20 or 30% pullback. You saw the 1949 to 1966 secular bull market have a number of those kind of pullbacks, didn't stop the bull market. The same thing in 82 to 2000. You had a crash in 87. Did it end the secular bull market? No, it didn't. It was a bad day, but it didn't end the secular bull market. We think the market's got legs, depending on where you want to start your count from, for at least another 6 or 7 years, and maybe into 2027.
So you don't really necessarily think that a 20% pullback even puts you into a new phase? You think that could still be part of a secular bull, even if we were to go down 20%? You don't characterize that? You do?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I don't think it constitutes a bear market. Alan Shaw, I believe, at Smith Barney decades ago was the one that came up with that. But I don't buy it. It may be a tactical bear market, but it's not it doesn't interrupt a secular bull.
So listen to him on a real Squawk Box in the morning. Alan Shaw and Marshall Acuff and at Smith Barney. Who else? There are some other guys there. Anyway, Alan Shaw was one of the first technicians, Mike. Do you remember him? You probably do.
Yeah.
I remember Newton.
Luis Yamato, of course, kind of mentored by Alan.
Newton was before even. Remember Newton Zinder was awesome too. Anyway, Michael, you're not, as I say, you're no slouch. You're bullish too, even from here.
Exactly. There's just no sign of recession. There's no sign of excess valuation. There's nothing that's going to push the markets down right now. And in fact, as somebody else said earlier, there are a lot of very good tailwinds that are still affecting the market. The breadth on the market has been widening, not narrowing. So that also suggests that we're not quite at the end. The Fed has been very favorable. In fact, it looks like they're beginning to think about the end of a rate cycle, which I think could be bullish, especially if paired with some steepening activity, such as accelerating the roll-off of the long end. So all in all, we're still pretty bullish.
When was the Saut? When was the last secular bull end, and what precipitated it, and how long was in your view? Because you got some interesting. The way you look at it is interesting. But when was the last one, and how long did the secular bear last? Was that in the? Must have been a while ago. Because this secular bull started in '81, didn't it, or around there? Or?
No.
When did it start?
I think 2000 started
2000 after the 666 on the S&P. How did that happen? 666. But was that it?
Most of the stocks bottomed in October of 2008. 92.6% of the stocks traded on October 10th of 08 bottomed. Most people think it began in March of 2009. Fair enough if you want to use that. But nobody measures the 82 to 2000 secular bull market from the nominal price low in December 74. They measure it from when the indices broke out above the previous highs. Everybody wants to measure this one from the nominal price low in March of 09. Maybe we should be measuring it from April of 2013 when the averages finally bettered their old high.
Jeff, let me just ask you, though, if you think there's 6 or 7 years potentially left in this phase of this bull market, are we going to go 6 or 7 years without a recession? I mean, we're talking about 16, years potentially of an expansion. That would be unprecedented. And whenever you're starting putting new money in there when unemployment's already 4%, your forward returns over multiple years hasn't necessarily been that great. So are we just in a new era?
That's fair enough. I have argued that the downturn was so severe and the recovery up until recently was so muted that what you've done is elongate the mid-cycle. So is it different this time, which you're not supposed to ask? Yeah, I think it is different this time. You've also had a tectonic shift from tangible assets on corporate balance sheets to intangible assets, which you can't really put on the balance sheets. And intangible assets, by definition, require higher valuation metrics than the historic norm.